The 10 worst habits for your liver. Habits that damage your liver health. Why is it important to know them? Because this way you can stop doing things that are harmful. So it's important that you pay attention to these 10 points that I will mention here. I am a specialist in metabolism and hormones. I am an endocrinologist and metabolist. I will talk a bit about liver health and metabolism, the most frequent alteration that can cause serious problems for the liver, leading to inflammation, fibrosis, scarring on the liver when the liver can't function properly, is fatty liver or hepatic steatosis. So with these 10 habits, you will have a much greater chance of avoiding or improving this problem. Let's start with the 10 habits in descending order. The first habit that damages the liver, number 10, is believing in supplements or substances to cleanse the liver or liver detox. If you hear this, know that there is no type of detox or anything miraculous for the liver, okay? Don't fall into this trap of thinking that if you take a supplement with something in it, it will improve your liver. On the contrary, several supplements cause inflammation in the liver, which leads to hepatitis. An example that is becoming increasingly common is green tea capsules. You should not take green tea capsules because there is a proven association between ingesting green tea capsules and hepatitis, with liver inflammation, including fulminant hepatitis, which means that the person has to undergo a liver transplant. So these supplements, capsules first, talk to your nutritionist, talk to your doctor, but I don't have access to an endocrinologist or a hepatologist who is a liver specialist. A general practitioner could be of help. These supplements, this knowledge, a trained doctor can help you. So you don't necessarily need to be a specialist in metabolism or the liver. Understood? So don't believe these things. There is no such thing as a shot for the liver. I've heard this a lot. There are people who pay for a consultation to find out, oh, I want to know the liver's secret. There is no such thing, folks. You don't need to spend your money on miraculous things because there are no secrets. If you follow these steps that I'm going to talk about here, it will be enough for you to have all the elements for good liver health. Tip number 9, or the 9th step, as some people like to say, avoid ultra-processed foods. But what are these ultra-processed foods? And why are they harmful? Cookies, those cereal bars that you until now thought were healthy, or you already knew. So cereal bars are not healthy for the liver because they are ultra-processed foods. Ice cream, frozen hamburgers, frozen pizza, which you buy in a box at the supermarket. It's not the burger you make at home and put in the fridge or freeze. That's not it, okay? It's those burgers that come in a small box that you buy at the market. Boxed lasagna. Foods that have several processing stages, which is why they are called ultra-processed. Because they have a high sodium content, like instant noodles, which is also another example of an ultra-processed food. Spicy sauces. And also they have, in addition to the high sodium content, they have saturated fats, they have simple carbohydrates, sugars, so avoid this type of food. The consumption of ultra-processed foods has been linked to an increase in liver diseases, such as fatty liver, with all the consequences that I explained, okay? In addition to several other conditions, right? If you ingest an excess of sodium, for example, it will increase the risk of high blood pressure, or worsen existing high blood pressure. It's worth controlling your sodium intake. But what would be an excess of sodium? Taking this opportunity to give you this tip, up to 2 grams of sodium per day. What is the average consumption in the United States, Portugal, or Brazil? More than 4 grams of sodium. So that's more than double the recommended amount. You have to consider this sodium issue. If you get into the habit of reading and understanding food labels, you'll see the sodium content listed there. Don't forget this. It's a really important tip. Tip number 8, avoid soda and sweetened drinks like boxed juice, especially if it contains corn syrup or fructose syrup. This could seriously harm your liver. But what if I have a glass of soda? Will it be bad for your liver? Well, if it's just once, it won't be the cause of liver disease. What I'm discussing in this video here, you need to understand, are repeated habits. Then you will have a much higher likelihood of developing liver disease. It's not because one time I had a glass of soda and I don't have fat in my liver. That's not what I'm discussing. The repetition is that you have the habit of drinking soda, boxed juice, sweetened drink, chocolate drink, then it will harm your liver. So avoid this type of drink. But what if it's 0-calorie soda? Does it harm the liver? Well, it's a very controversial issue, but I'm going to tell you that 0-calorie soda is better than regular soda because of the calories and simple sugar, okay? Now, is it healthy for you to drink 0-calorie soda? I'm not saying that because there are several substances, dyes, preservatives in many of these drinks, which is a controversial issue. I won't specifically delve into the issue of 0-calorie soda because it's not the focus of the video. If you want, leave it in the comments and I'll make a video specifically about sweeteners and 0-calorie soda. The seventh habit that harms your metabolism and your liver concerns sleep. If you sleep less than 6 hours a night or a day, you'll experience an increase in several metabolic diseases, such as obesity itself, which is a risk factor for liver disease. Those who sleep during the day and stay awake at night are also at risk. Another point discussed, but if you're sleeping less than 6 hours, you also need to rectify this. Agreed. Other issues about sleep, such as those who snore a lot and have what is called obstructive sleep apnea, the interruption of oxygen, the flow of oxygen during the night, this is also a risk factor. So you need to pay special attention to your sleep. Ask someone in your house if you're snoring a lot, or if you wake up choking and out of breath. In fact, it's not just an impression. You actually do run out of air. And this causes several metabolic problems, such as increased blood sugar, increased blood pressure, and it can even cause high blood pressure, because this will harm your metabolism and favor the onset of various diseases such as fatty liver. So pay attention to your sleep. Number 6, be careful with foods with white flour, with wheat. Why? When you eat a cake or pasta or bread, your body will digest this bread, this cake, for example. And as it's a carbohydrate that will be transformed into sugar, the excess will be accumulated in the liver. In the form of triglycerides, for example, it will increase your blood sugar, so you have to be careful and avoid these foods. This means that you're completely forbidden from eating a slice of cake or eating some pasta. No, the same thing I explained in the other item applies. The habit of eating bread every day for breakfast, for example, is one of the risk factors for having fatty liver is eating too much white flour. Number 5, a sedentary lifestyle. If you do less than 150 minutes of physical exercise per week, you will also be at risk for some metabolic diseases, such as fatty liver. So what should you do? At least 150 minutes divided into 3 or more times. So 50 minutes 3 times a week, or 30 minutes 5 times a week of any physical activity you prefer. It could be running on the street, it could be on the treadmill, it could be walking. Any of these would be excellent. If you have a problem, can't run, can't do more intense exercise, or if you prefer, if it suits your taste, you can also walk. It's an excellent exercise if you want to maintain metabolic health. Also for liver health, reducing the risk of fatty liver. It could be at the gym, it could be swimming, it could be the exercise of your choice. You have to choose an exercise that you like, that is good for you. Otherwise, it is very difficult to maintain a habit that you don't like. Then it will be a sacrifice. It will be very difficult to maintain physical exercise in the long term, which is so good for your health. But I heard there was another doctor who said, or my cardiologist said, that if I did 250 minutes, I could have an even greater benefit. There are some studies that say this. There is also this consensus of 250 minutes or more, but if you do at least 150, I will be satisfied, okay? If you can do a little more, it also has an additional benefit for your health. Number 4, and before number 4, I'm going to set a likes goal. You always ask, you try to guess it right, and this time I'm going to surprise you. 16,500 likes is our goal today. Agreed? Nobody guessed it right? I doubt it. So it helps and leave a like, because this way the system understands that the video is relevant ends up distributing it, and more people have access to this video. Also subscribe to the channel if you are not already subscribed, and if you already are, remember to activate the notification bell, click on the bell, check all the options, so whenever I post, YouTube will send you a notification. And number 4 is about alcohol. Do you have to avoid alcohol completely? If you have a liver problem or are dealing with fatty liver or some other problem, then it is 0 alcohol. If you don't have any liver problems, studies suggest that drinking alcohol up to 1 drink a day would not be harmful. But if I take 3-4 doses? Well, yes, I'm talking about up to 1 dose per day. Well, that's not my opinion because I'm not a fan of alcohol. I always suggest 0 alcohol to patients. But if you really insist on taking up to 1 dose a day and you don't have a liver problem, studies don't show this problem. I'm talking about the science here, okay? There is even a discussion of some drinks like wine, up to 1 glass a day for cardiovascular health. There is even this point that I can't help but mention too. Number 3, control of other diseases and conditions such as high blood pressure, diabetes, hypothyroidism. Untreated or undiagnosed hypothyroidism also increases the frequency of fat in the liver, which is important. So, if you have fatty liver, you have to know you have to take routine tests to evaluate your thyroid because it is one of the things that increase the chance of liver problems such as fatty liver. Number 2, avoid saturated fats such as lard, coconut oil, bacon, cheeses, especially yellow cheeses, fatty meats, red meat with fat. But am I against red meat? No, here's that question of habit again. But am I against lard? Yes. Then there are better options, all right? Coconut oil too. It has a lot of saturated fat, and this is not beneficial for your body. Why am I highlighting this? Because there are some people who really believe, as it has been widely disseminated on the internet, that lard is healthy. Guys, it's not. If you cook in lard, you will have an increased chance of having an excess of saturated fats and changes in cholesterol, for example, and even the fat itself in the liver. So what's the alternative? Extra virgin olive oil, for example, is a better option than lard. If you have a non-stick frying pan, you don't need to add oil or lard to the food. It's worth checking this out because in my opinion, even the food tastes better. I don't like eating with excess fat because there will often already be fat from the food depending on the food you are eating. Another habit that harms your liver health, especially if you have fatty liver, is a restrictive diet. That diet where you end up depriving yourself of several things you like, or say, I'm only going to drink one type of tea, or I'm only going to eat this type of food, ends up causing a very sudden reduction in weight. In addition to the regain rate, you cannot maintain this type of diet. It is very large, but sudden reductions in weight can worsen cases of fatty liver steatosis in the liver, which increases the risk of necrosis, the death of liver cells. So this is a very serious thing that I'm talking about here. You shouldn't go on any type of restrictive diet, and you also can't lose weight quickly if you have fatty liver. Many cases for days now of people who say, dieting is no use for me because it makes my fatty liver worse. It's because you follow a very restrictive diet and end up losing weight quickly. But what is fast weight loss? The American Diabetes Society establishes a safe and gradual weight reduction of half to 1 kilogram per week. More than 1 kilogram per week can be very rapid weight loss and can harm your liver. These reductions of 10 kg, 12 kg in a month, you have to be very careful with this as it harms your liver's health. And number 1 is obesity. Weight control is effective in preventing and also controlling various types of changes such as fatty liver. There was a study that found that reductions of 5%, 5% in weight can improve several cases of fatty liver. If it is 10% of the weight, then there is more scientific evidence that proves what I am saying. So what if I'm already thin? Well, then with weight control, you would already be doing that. So this one is for those who are obese. Got it? On a scale of 0 to 10, what rating do you give to this video? If it's 10, I'll make more videos like this. Also write in the comments which city you are from, which part of the world you belong to. I'm speaking from Porto Alegre. Now, I'm going to leave a suggestion for you to watch. It's a video in which I talked about 10 foods with anti-inflammatory potential. You have already seen that there is no secret, but there are foods that are healthy and that can help your metabolism, can help your body. In this video, I talk about this. Take care. See you next time.